Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of Appropriate Audiences for the fall 2013 semester. I'm your host James Rona, and I'm here joined by Serene Jabazian and Haley Duran. And today we're going to be talking about the new Denis Villeneuve movie Prisoners, starring Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. Prisoners tells the story of two girls named Anna Dover and Joy Birch who are abducted from their homes and the search that goes on to find them. So guys, let's just jump right into this. What were your general expectations going in? First expectations.
You know, I forgot to look at the summary, so when I thought of Prisoners, I was like, oh, it's like it's an action thriller film, but I didn't think it was like about girls who were getting kidnapped. And then I started watching it, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, this isn't what I thought I signed up for. So I mean, I guess I went into it not expecting a lot, and it wasn't that it was a bad film. It was a good film. I just didn't enjoy it because it wasn't a subject that I am into.
Just not your particular subject. Okay. What about you?
I had saw a trailer for it a couple months ago, and I was thoroughly confused about what the movie was even about. So I had no idea what to expect. I know one of my teachers recommended seeing it. He said it was really good, but he also said that Gravity was really good. So
like, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Not that Gravity's bad. Gravity is just 2001: Space Odyssey. So it's basically the same movie. Anyways, not the point. I really didn't know what to expect. I also thought it was just going to be kind of an action movie. I was not expecting it to be really creepy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of was, because Paul Dano's character, Alex,
Yeah.
looked super creepy. So I'm like, okay, maybe there'll be like a little moment of weirdness, and then it'll just continue on like action-y.
Like, did you have a difficulty placing the time period? Because I guess it made sense that it could take place like now, like in 2013, but it also could have taken place like in the 90s, like 20 years ago. Like, it had that feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see what you're saying, but I mean, speaking for myself, I was really, really, really excited for this. I was the one who was pushing for it, so I mean, I was very excited only because I love Hugh Jackman and I love Jake Gyllenhaal, and I thought put them together makes sense. It makes a good movie. And so let's just jump right into our actual thoughts on the movie. I'll go first. I thought that it was really good. It was a little bit long. That was my one complaint, but I think that the longness almost sort of, like, it wasn't like drainingly long. It was like, okay, like I'm watching the screen, I'm trying to find out what's going to happen, I'm trying to figure out who all these people are that they just keep on bringing in, and I'm like, who are you? But, I mean, it was really good. I mean, it was really, the length was almost like to add to the effect almost, like it's been 6 days, like, oh my god, and then you look and it's 4 a.m.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, like I just spent 2.5 hours watching. So, I'm rambling. What about you? What did you think?
Like I said before, like, it's not my cup of tea. It was a good film. I thought Hugh Jackman did a great job. In terms, like, you said that Jake Gyllenhaal, you thought the two of them together worked really well. I wasn't sure how I felt about Jake Gyllenhaal's presence on camera. Like, it was almost as if, maybe it was because Hugh Jackman did such a good job that it looked as if Jake wasn't really putting in as much.
He set the bar pretty high.
He set the bar pretty high, yeah.
I feel like every day before they started filming, they like dosed him with like a tranquilizer, and that's why he was like,
just calm down.
Hey, you need to calm down.
You need to calm
You're
down.
being,
And then Hugh Jackman is over there screaming.
Which, for once,
I mean,
I was okay with, because hey,
his daughter just got
exactly.
I mean, I'd be screaming.
Exactly. But it was just really bizarre because I really liked Jake Gyllenhaal, but he just like wasn't there. It was really bizarre. Like it's just bones were there. I don't know. It was
just bones were there.
It was. I don't even know what happened.
I mean, so while we're on the topic of Hugh Jackman, I personally am going to go out on a limb here and say that he will be nominated for an Oscar for this. I'm going to say that now, and I think that he has a very strong chance of winning. I think that there were multiple scenes in this movie that were worthy of being that scene where that they show it when the Oscars actually happen. There are a bunch of scenes that were actually worthy of that being the scene that's shown when they say Hugh Jackman for Prisoners. I thought that he was great, but I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with me on that. Because
there were a few scenes. We were talking before. The Oscars are kind of confusing for me. I don't like they nominate people and then they don't nominate other people, and I can see him winning, but at the same time, like, I personally, like, that would not be my choice.
I just don't see this as an Oscar-winning
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the film.
No,
I'm saying
I know, but
or him as an actor.
right. Like, I don't see this being a film that he would be nominated for. He was amazing in it,
Mhm.
but I mean, what do I know? There's always people that I think should get nominated, but then never do. It's always a
because you've
it's a,
seen like every movie.
it's
in
a game of
history.
politics, and it's just I don't know. It's very
There's
silly.
a lot more that goes into the
Mhm.
the Oscars than we see. Like
Yeah.
it's not just the films themselves. There's other stuff that goes into it as
I'm
well.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I'm with Haley on this one. Like I mean, I guess I can see where you're coming from with the whole like
Mhm.
there are scenes in it that they might
Yeah.
that they might show at the Oscars.
That they
like, when
would submit to.
Yeah,
Well,
that they
yeah.
would submit it for.
But yeah, like I don't know if I would be like on what is it like on the bandwagon with like that film
on the
winning.
bandwagon.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
I'm
So-
campaigning Leo, 2013 Oscars, 2014, whatever. I don't know.
for
Whatever.
Was
Oh,
Ray
okay.
Gatsby a film?
Well, Ray Gatsby. There we go. He was
Really?
in a film this year. No, I just want him to have an Oscar. He's
Oh,
so
okay.
sad.
He's so sad. Oh God, that's a completely different discussion.
story.
But going off of some of the scenes that we were talking about, there were a lot of scenes where Hugh Jackman's character and Alex were be in the bathroom together, and there were torture scenes going on. What did you think of those? Like, did you think that they got a little bit too real, or did you think that the realism might have added to it, or
It
like
got-
what were your general thoughts about the torture scenes?
For me, it got to the point where it was like when I didn't know what he was gonna do with the hammer in that first scene where he was
Yeah.
like about to attack him. Like I was like, what is he gonna do? Like, is he gonna pull off his fingers like with like the middle part of the like?
Mm.
I don't know.
I
like,
wasn't thinking
I was
that.
I was freaking out. I was expecting the worst, and then like when he ended up like not really hurting him, I was really shooken up. It was really creepy, like you said. And then that scene with the scalding water.
Oh my God.
That was
His scream was like really realistic. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I can imagine how hot that is.
It
scared me.
Ooh, I feel you.
I mean, for a movie like this, I appreciate that the torture scenes were realistic because I feel like the movie would have lost something if I wasn't uncomfortable. If
Yeah.
I was sitting there like, oh, okay, well, he's just beating him up like every other film. You
Yeah.
see this. And so I appreciate that it was like super uncomfortable because you're kind of like, well, I understand why you're beating him up and you're torturing him because you want to find your daughter, but you're really torturing him.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how I feel about you right now. I appreciate that tension.
And then there was also the contrasting nature of the other father,
other
who was
Yeah.
like,
Was like,
this has to
"Listen."
stop. Like, this has to stop. And then his wife was like, listen, we just don't know about anything anymore. We don't know that he's doing this anymore. We're not involved,
Yeah.
but we're not going to stop him. I thought that was a very realistic response from someone who
Yeah.
would be like, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Because
Like-
I would be too afraid, especially after she tried to let him go once and he like went nuts.
Yeah.
I would have been like, listen, I don't want anything to do with this anymore.
Like I think I don't remember if the husband or the wife, but they said like, listen, I want my daughter back as much as you do, but like this is ridiculous. You're going overboard.
yeah.
And I was like, damn straight, you're going overboard.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's Haley's thought on the matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, going off of that, we're going to go to Jake Troy with his segment called Trailer Talk, and him and Steve Boresky are going to give us a look at the newest trailer in Hollywood. What do you got for us, guys?
I hate flying. The lines, the crowds, the delays.
I always kind of liked it. 6 hours, one seat, nobody can get to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard our non-stop service from New York to London.
Fly much?
All the time, actually. Someone on this flight is threatening to kill someone every 20 minutes. I'm trying to save it.
That was the trailer, and this is Trailer Talk. So, is it your first time flying?
Nah, I fly all the time.
What about 20 minutes will be your last? Get out of here, Megan. Hi, I'm Jake Troy.
And I'm Steve Boresky.
And this week on Trailer Talk, we're going to be talking about Non-Stop, the new action movie with Liam Neeson featuring Julianne Moore. So, Steve, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
I definitely think it looks interesting. Looks like a typical Neeson film. Definitely looking forward to it. Looks like it's going to be high and action-packed, and it's going to be interesting how it ends. What about you?
Yeah, we're really used to seeing like Liam Neeson as this bodyguard guy who's taking care of his family and killing everyone like a badass. So now he's on a plane and he's like limited with the space, so it's definitely gonna be interesting to see like how they're gonna wrap it up within this like hour and a half. And it's all on a plane, so it's like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I agree, because like in the trailer it's just funny to like watch him like run up and down the aisles like frantic, and it just looks like it's gonna be very interesting how that all plays out.
Yeah, you can even see they're like trying to like involve the army and how it's trying to make sure it's trying to catch Liam, and at one point the plane flips. You can just see like it's gonna be intense. It's gonna be
Yeah,
intense.
I definitely think the plot is something that we've never seen, or at least something that we haven't seen in a while, and that it should be really right. So make sure you check out the full trailer and Nonstop coming to theaters February 2014.
I'm Jake.
I'm Steve.
Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks so much, guys. And going off of that, we also have a new segment to introduce. Haley, you want to tell us about it?
Sure. So Matt and I are scouring Netflix to find the worst films possible, and there are a lot, and it is awesome. We are going to be watching Trolls 2. However, it was a toss-up between that, Rubber, and the Insane Clown Posse's film.
Oh, gosh.
So those will probably make an appearance somewhere along the line.
All right, so let's take a look at what you got.
Hello, and welcome to Notorious Netflix, a program dedicated to showcasing some of the worst movie masterpieces Netflix has to offer. I'm Matt.
And I'm Haley.
And we've got some questions for you. Do you like vegetables?
Do you hate when your parents think you're lying?
Do you wish your dead wizard grandfather would read you bedtime stories?
Do you wish your boyfriend would just stop hanging out with his friends?
Have you ever wanted to pick up some hot chicks by chasing them in a forest?
Have you ever wanted to make out with an old witch who turned young while simultaneously making popcorn?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, then Troll 2 is the movie for you.
Troll 2 begins with the little boy Joshua being read a bedtime story by his dead grandfather on the eve of his vacation to the completely deserted town of Nilbog, which is goblin spelled backwards. If you were hoping to see trolls in Trolls 2, you're out of luck because there are no trolls, only goblins.
And if you think that makes no sense, well, the movie only gets worse from there. The goblins and the Goblin Queen, who are vegetarians of course, attempt to turn the vacation family and friends into half plant, half people by feeding them green food and disgusting milk.
Let's not forget to mention Josh's wizard grandfather, who he communicates and interacts with multiple times throughout the movie, despite him being dead. And then he's sent to hell, and then he's killed again.
And Josh's sister, whose love life seems just as nonsensical as the plot.
But horrible plots aside, what about the visual effects? Well, I can assure you the costumes are just as bad and disgusting as you may have hoped, with eyes that draw too much attention to themselves, or no eyes at all, and superfluous uses of green blood and goop.
But let's look at the positives. If you can forego a nonsensical plot with poorly explained character motives, Troll 2 is quite a watchable movie. As a matter of fact, I can see why it's a cult classic. You definitely won't be bored. Maybe confused, disgusted, but definitely not bored.
All in all, Troll 2 lends itself well in addition to the category of really bad movies, and something enjoyable to be watched and made fun of with friends.
I give Troll 2 4 dead wizard grandfathers out of 5.
And I give it 5 man pointing and screaming, "Oh my God," out of 5.
That's all for this week's Notorious Netflix. Check us out next time for more horrible movie masterpieces.
Wow, that was interesting. Oh, gosh. Okay. So let's just get right back into our talk about Prisoners here. So let's just jump right ahead to the ending. So we're talking about the very ending, not the whole leading thing. The very last scene where Jake Gyllenhaal's character went back to the house and he heard that whistle, and it's basically assumed that it's Hugh Jackman. I am so mad at that, only because I think that it would have been so much better if they would have just said, he died, we're never going to find him, stuff like that. I think that it's...
Come on.
No, I am
Are
saying...
you one of those people who can't handle cliffhangers?
Yes.
No.
See,
I think it's cliche that there was a cliffhanger, but at the same time, I think that it would have been worse for the film had they killed him. Like, I thought that the cliffhanger gave it something. It was like, he's still
So
alive
now what's
down
going to be
there?
in Prisoners 2? He's just going to go to jail
Is
for
there gonna
torturing
be
a
a
person?
There are
Prisoners
prisoners too?
isn't that generally the point of a cliffhanger to add a sequel?
No,
Not
not
always.
necessarily.
So you're just saying they're gonna end it right there.
Well,
That's
think
what
about
you
Yeah.
Inception. They didn't continue on
true.
with that.
Okay.
Cliffhangers are generally like okay. The point of cliffhangers usually is to make you think. I know people don't like doing that.
Thanks.
See, that's the whole problem with films these days. Like, they give you all the answers and they don't give you much to think about afterwards. You're supposed to be left with something to think about. That's why so many films that have been made in the past, they had that element, and that's why they are considered classics and they're considered good films. Like, what's the point in telling you what happens and like giving it to you from start to finish?
Okay, let me ask you this. Say they do make it clear that he died. Then what?
That's it. That
Okay.
he gave everything for his
Okay.
daughters to survive and be safe, and then they can.
Why do you need to know that he died?
But he still did.
definitively.
Why do we need to know that he might be alive?
What? Exactly. Why do
That's
we need
the
to know
point.
definitively?
It's like Schrodinger's
either way?
cat.
Also, the best thing about cliffhangers is I personally love cliffhangers because you can make the ending whatever you want.
I don't like that.
In your
Yeah.
opinion, he died. That's your ending. In my opinion, he ran off into the wolves. I was gonna say he ran off
Into
into
the
wolves.
wolves?
He ran into the woods and became a family of wolves. I
but
don't
here's the
know.
It became Tarzan. No big deal.
For all you know, they're not able to get, because they said like the ground is frozen. So for all we know, they weren't able to get into the ground to get him out. So he died down there.
So you're saying that
Like,
it might not have been Hugh Jackman whistling, and it might have just been.
no. That may very, because it was a few hours afterwards. So like he probably was still alive. What I'm saying is they might not have gotten him out. Like you don't know. Like the whole point is that you don't know what happens. It's supposed to make you think. Like
I'll be the devil's advocate. I'm just gonna say that I think that, in my personal taste, if they would have made it clear that, like, if they would have cut to something where it's like a few months later and he still isn't found, but the girls are happy and that they know that their father gave up everything for them, I thought that that would have made a better ending. But that's just me being.
Do
well,
you like
devil's-
TV dinners too?
well here's
That was
my thing.
mean.
Like in life there is no like ending to anything. Everything continues like in general. Like there is a start, you're born, but like until you
I mean, there is an end.
there is an end, but like not all ties get tied, like get finished and like tied up and that's it and that's done. Like they always continue, and like not everything gets solved. So like that this movie is kind of like things that happen in life. Like not everything is like done and perfect for you.
Yeah, I mean, because why can't you just assume that the girls are happy? Like,
I'm assuming that they are happy.
right, exactly. So then, there you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
We'll just end it like that. I'm probably just gonna stick to my idea, but I'll just be the devil's advocate.
And that is why you will not be a movie director.
Damn. Okay, that was nice.
And if you ever do become one, I won't watch your films. No, I'm kidding. You probably make wonderful films. What do I know?
Aw, thank you.
We don't know.
What do I know?
Okay. This review is
Before
going
we embarrass James
bizarre.
anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So, any other general thoughts about the movie? Or do you think that we got everything in?
I have to say, I was surprised though, because originally at the beginning when I said I wasn't sure what to expect, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, I had like lukewarm feelings towards the film. It did surprise me. It was very creepy, and I do like creepy films. I don't know why, so I did enjoy that aspect.
Just because you're creepy.
That's probably why. Touché.
Had to
Touché.
get you back.
So I mean, overall, I did enjoy the film, but I don't know how I feel towards the film. I don't think the film and I would be bros.
Okay. All right, sorry. It's hard to follow that.
Well, I mean, kind of going off of that, like I said before, like it's not a bad film. Like it got good ratings. Like I trust critics. It was a good film. Like she said, like I don't know how I feel about it. Like there are those films that are really good that you can go to on any day and just watch. This is not one of those films. I'm pretty sure if I tried to watch this when I'm feeling good, I would just end up like crying afterwards.
Sure.
So that's just my opinion.
So, going off of everything that we've said here today, the big question, do you recommend this to your friends to go see in a theater, in Netflix, or skip it? Go. Anyone can go first. I keep on pointing at
I'm
you.
going to recommend. I'm actually surprise recommendation. I'm going to recommend go see it in the theater. Why not?
Okay.
Because my opinions may not reflect my friends' opinions.
Okay, I like that answer.
That is
Alright.
a very political answer.
No, because every week I answer the same, where it's like, I love this film, go see it. This week, you know what? I didn't like the film, but someone else might. Go see it. See
Okay.
what you think.
No, yeah, that actually makes me want to change my answer because I was gonna say wait until Netflix. I didn't like it, but no, you have a point. Like, because I'm one of the she's one of the few people who like feels the way I feel about this film, where like I didn't enjoy it that much, but like a lot of people are enjoying it. So I would say yeah, go see it in theaters and develop your own opinion.
Well, I'm going to say go see it in theaters because I liked it, and you might like it too. So there's my answer. But overall, like I said, that's this week's episode of Appropriate Audiences. I want to thank my guests, Serena and Haley, for joining me one more time tonight. And please don't forget to follow us on Twitter at APPRO_audiences or on Facebook by going to facebook.com/appropriateaudiences. But until then, that's this week's episode. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week, guys.